Oh hey, it's me, Turbo Cellboard, with another Linux tutorial. Today I'm going to show you how to put Linux on your computer for free, but specifically how you're going to get that USB live environment, because everybody talks about this. I guess Windows started copying it at some point. So this method will allow you to try out Linux without having to actually commit. You know what I mean? So what we're going to do today is we're going to build a live USB, which lets you put it in a computer, boot from that computer, and then see what Linux be like on your computer without actually having to install anything. So I'm going to be using Fedora Media Writer, aside from the fact that I'm using this on a Fedora Linux machine. Fedora Media Writer is by far the best tool I've ever found for using it. Works great on Linux, works great on Windows. Never used it on Mac. I don't know if you're on Mac and you're watching this. I'm sorry. Why'd you waste so much money on a Mac? What we got here is there's a whole bunch of different ways to use it, but I already got it set up. So I'm going to show you how to do it, assuming that you want to pick your own version of Linux. Okay. So there's a whole bunch of different versions of Linux. You can go to their website and be like, I want to download it now. And what they're going to give you is they're going to give you an ISO. Okay. Almost everybody, you're going to see this a lot when you go to download. You're going to see people say things like, oh, it's an x86 64, or it's an ARM, or it's this other one I've never heard of. I think this is the Mac version. This you're probably never going to see. So really, if you're using any normal computer, you're going to want the x86 64. Most modern computers are all 64-bit, so you don't need to worry. Just always get the 64-bit version. So the tool we're going to use is Fedora Media Writer. I'm not going to show you how to install it on Windows, because if you got this far, you know how to install something on Windows. So what I got instead is I already got it up, because I'm a cool guy who planned ahead. So a couple of things you're going to need right away. So number one, you're going to need a USB drive. Any old USB drive should work. You're going to need at least 8 gigs on it. I'm using a 128 gigabyte drive because that's what I got. So right here, when you open up Fedora Media Writer, you'll get two options. Download automatically, which is so I'll just show you what that looks like. It's going to be like, oh, which version do you want? And it's only going to be for Fedora stuff. So if you want to install something other than Fedora, and you can use this to make a bootable thing for Windows 11, although I don't know why you would do that, you can go to select ISO file. So it'll put any old ISO file on there. So I love how it's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna grab the 3 kilobyte ROM off of my audio interface. No, we're gonna use the SanDisk Ultra, right? So you select it. You gotta have your USB drive plugged in. You gotta format it first. If you don't know how to format, I mean, all you got to do is just right click on that and say, I want to format it. But what we're going to do instead is I'm going to go over here and I'm going to pick this ISO. So I downloaded it. The .iso means it's a self-contained file structure. Now you got to use the media writer because it's got to make it bootable. You can't just like throw this on a CD and be like, haha, boot. It's got to be built as a bootable device. So let's see. We're just going to click on that, select that one. We're going to write to this. So this is using USB. This is a USB 3.0 device. Oh, they need my password, huh? Okay, we'll just get right on that. Oh, it's getting dark. What's happening? Hope nobody sees my password. All right, so it's gonna write it pretty quick because I already downloaded it. But what we got is the live environment. So this is how you actually build a writable disk. Now, most USB devices should work out the gate. Sometimes they don't, especially if you're buying like a cheap one off of Amazon because you hate your fellow man or something. Just go to the store and buy like a SanDisk or a Kingston, a brand that isn't like made up for Amazon, and it should work just fine. If it doesn't, just try another one. They don't need to be that big. You can pick these up for like 10 for $1 at this point. I think they're cheap. So all it's doing is putting it in, and I'm putting in Fedora LXDE, which is a spin, and we'll go over that in subsequent videos. So you see here, it's writing to disk. You don't want to interrupt it. Do not pull it out. Okay, this is critical that you do not do that, because otherwise you're going to run into so many fucking problems. Those are problems galore. So if you want some ISOs, you can just go to any old site. We'll just see. Now it's going to check the written data. I'm going to edit this. I mean, I should point out this drive's like 10 years old, so it doesn't have any of them modern things. Like, I don't know, fast read-write cycles. I don't know. All right, we're finished. We got it. Now it says finished. It says writing it was successful. So, of course, you can have the media writer when you're done, turn it back into a normal drive, or you can just format the drive. That's fine too. Nobody'll stop you on that one. So now if we go over here, right, we got on my file system, I have a USB that's now called Fedora LXDE Live 4114, or I don't know what all that nonsense means, but this is the live drive. So in a subsequent video, I will show you how to boot into the live environment, but that is how you get Linux into a format you can actually test out. So it's going to live on this drive, right? I just unplug that. There it is. It's on here. It's, oh, get that in the camera. Look at that. It's perfect. So now I'm going to put this on a new desktop that I'm going to be building. So check for part 2. But that's how you actually build a live disk. It's so easy now. Like, this used to be this is the hardest fucking thing in the world to do. Now it's so easy. Oh yeah, if you got any questions, you know, put them down in the comments. If you don't like this type of tutorial where I just do it real quick, let me know. But it seems like people like the direct answer. Here's how you do the fucking thing, right? So yeah, I got any questions? Stick that in the comments.